You've probably heard the term carbon footprint thrown around a million times, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that. We're going to break down how you can figure out your own, and maybe more importantly, why that number you end up with isn't just a score, it's a starting point. So let me start with a question for you. What if everything you did today, that coffee you grabbed, your commute, the show you're going to stream later, what if all of it left behind an invisible shadow on the world? Well, it does. That shadow has a name. It's your carbon footprint. It's the real, measurable impact of your life on the environment. And today, we're going to figure out how to switch on the lights and see it clearly. All right, so first things first, when we talk about a footprint, what are we even measuring? Let's deconstruct it and see what it's really made of. Okay, here's the textbook definition. It's the total amount of greenhouse gases, and yeah, carbon dioxide or CO2 is the big one, that are created because of our actions. But the most important words on this slide are directly or indirectly. Let's break that down because it's a huge deal. So direct emissions are the easy ones to get your head around. Think about the exhaust coming right out of your car's tailpipe. You turn the key, you make emissions. Simple. But then there's the indirect stuff. That's the tricky part. It's all the hidden energy costs. Think about the t-shirt you're wearing. Emissions were created to grow the cotton, to power the factory that wove it, and to ship it all the way to you. Both of these, they both count. And where does all this stuff come from? Well, if you look at a typical footprint, it's really eye-opening. Housing and transportation are the two absolute giants, making up way more than half of the whole pie. That means things like how you heat your home and how you get around often have a bigger impact than pretty much anything else. Okay, so we get what we're measuring now, but how in the world do you actually calculate it? Turns out you've got two main paths you can go down. You can go top-down or you can go bottom-up. Think of the top-down method as your quick estimate. It uses big, broad data to give you a ballpark figure, and it's super fast. The bottom-up method, though, that's the detailed deep dive. It's definitely more work, but the number you get is much more precise and personal to you. So the top-down way starts big. It takes your country's average and then kind of zooms in based on things like your general spending habits. A ton of the online calculators you see use this method, and you can get an answer in just a few minutes. It's a fantastic starting point. Now, the bottom-up method flips that script. It starts small, with you. You've got to do a little homework here. Grab your electricity bills, figure out how many miles you drove last year, any flights you took. Then you use these special conversion rates for each activity and add it all up. This is for when you really, really want to know the details. I know that might sound a little abstract, so let's make it real. We're going to do a super simplified walkthrough using that bottom-up logic just to see how it all clicks together. Let's start with something most of us do, driving. We'll say for our example that you drive about 10,000 miles a year. That's piece of data number one. Next up, let's peek at an energy bill. Let's imagine your household uses, on average, 750 kilowatt hours of electricity every month. Okay, that's data point number two. So here's the magic step. How do you turn miles and kilowatt hours into a single carbon value? You use something called an emission factor. Honestly, just think of it like a currency converter. It's a special number that turns each activity into a standard unit called CO2 equivalent, or CO2e. That little e just means we're bundling all the different warming gases together into one number to keep things simple. And once you apply those converters, boom, the picture becomes crystal clear. Your 10,000 miles of driving? That might equal about 4.2 tons of CO2e. Your home electricity? Maybe another 3.5 tons. Then you add in everything else, your food, your clothes, all of it, and you get your grand total. You can see exactly which parts of your life are leaving the biggest shadow. But here's what I really want to drive home. This is the most important part of this whole thing. Getting that number, that's not the end of the game. So let's talk about the true power that's hiding behind that final figure. I absolutely love this idea. Your footprint is not a grade. It's not some test you failed. It's not a reason to feel guilty. It's not a final score at all. It's a starting line. It's your personal baseline, the point from which you can start to make more informed choices. So why does all this matter? Because it takes something that feels huge and abstract and makes it real and tangible. It points a big, bright spotlight on your biggest impact areas. Maybe it is your commute. Maybe it's something you never even thought of. It gives you a baseline for change and empowers you with the knowledge to make different choices if you want to. Ultimately, this whole thing comes down to a really simple principle you hear in business all the time. You can't manage what you don't measure.
So I'll just leave you with this to chew on. Now that you know how to measure your impact, what will you choose to manage?